This one genuinely makes me sad. I'm a 30-year-old loser with 50K. Oof. Buddy, oof. That's rough. Howdy, Fi guys. I'm writing to you because I desperately am in need of guidance on a financial decision that feels like my last shot at turning my life around. Boy. Let me explain the situation a bit further. So, I am a 30-year-old loser, and I'm trying to be honest. I've made a mess of things over the years. My struggles with money management have been a constant source of stress and failure. I've never been good with finances, and unfortunately, my past have only compounded the problems. For several years, I've battled a drug addiction that has consumed my life, and it was a dark time that left me isolated from my family and my friends, with little hope for the future. During that period, I squandered any money I had accumulated, and the addiction is behind me now, thankfully. I'm grateful every day for my recovery, but my financial consequences still linger. I feel like a struggling loser trying to rebuild my life from the ground up. Let's pause real quick.
Okay. Yeah. Let's pause real quick. So
it's one thing to say, everybody has beaten themselves up once or another, right? You'd be crazy if you didn't, right? I've beaten myself up. Everybody has beaten themselves up. It's one thing to think it, to feel it. It's another thing to say it out loud, right? I think that's where my pain, my heart is just like, oh, it breaks for this guy. Like, because we've all thought it. I've never said it out loud, right? I've never not only said it out loud, I've never written into a show asking for help. And he's being honest. And I love that. I love that. But that hurts. I'm so sorry. I feel bad for this person. What do you think, Chris?
So do I. No, he's called himself a loser 3 times. The header of his email to us was, "I am a loser."
Yeah,
like that's the header of his thing. And let's go back to the biases and the principles.
Yeah. Consistency
and inconsistency principle or bias. If you believe that I am a loser and you are saying it out loud, and even worse, you're writing it down. Now, if you say something, you can always deny that you said it. But if you wrote something down and said, I am a loser, now you are truly beginning to believe it. And now you're going to start to find ways to be consistent with that identity that you created. Your thoughts create your habits. Your habits create your reality. Again, I think this person, he really needs to take a step back and stop calling yourself a fucking loser, because you're not a loser. You're a winner. And it sounds like you gave yourself a second chance. You overcame drug addiction. I have no idea what that's like. I have to imagine, though, that is extremely difficult based off the people that I have seen in my life get hooked on drugs and never come out of it. So you are a winner, and you need to start telling yourself that every fucking day. I don't care if you have to wake up in the morning, wipe off the mirror and say, I'm a winner, I'm a winner, I'm a winner, I'm a winner. You need to start believing that, because if you keep on telling yourself that you're a loser, you're never going to pull yourself out of this. I don't even know what the issue is quite yet. I know that there's some financial issues, but if you keep on telling yourself you're a loser, you're going to create that reality. And it seems like you've already created that reality for so long. And it almost sounds to me like you're giving up on life and you're 30 years old. Like you said, this is my last shot. Dude, you're 30 years old.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, my life didn't start till 18. And then it really started around 24, 25, 24. And I'm just getting started, baby. What are we doing? So let me continue. I'm gonna continue with the letter.
Yeah, but first, before we do, congrats on getting clean. You were a fucking 100%. Superhero.
Yeah. That's crazy. The amount of self-discipline. I don't think you understand. Chris gets in a cold plunge to train for discipline, right? You have that. You built it. You had a goal of getting clean and you freaking did it. That's not a loser. That's a winner. That's a freaking winner right there. So let's continue on with his letter. Unfortunately, while we are hyping him up, he has not gotten the message yet because we haven't released the pod. So this is still past tense. He hasn't heard this yet. So
this is us talking to ourselves.
Yeah, basically.
You'll hear it later.
Yeah, that's accurate. So currently, I'm making about $10,000 a year working odd jobs that don't provide much stability. It's a struggle to make ends meet, and I'm consistently worried about the future. This year, my dad, God bless him, he gave me a gift of $50,000. His final attempt to help me get back on my feet to create a stable life for myself. I've already used a proportion of this money to pay for the rent for next year, which has given me some much needed breathing room, really. After settling those expenses, I have about $35,000 left.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
So again, if you were a loser and if your dad thought you were a loser, would he give you $50,000 to help you get out of this hole?
Yeah.
It's not to give like one of the kindest fathers in the world. Like $50,000 is nothing to scoff at all. And your dad didn't give that to you because he thinks you're going to squander it. He gave it to you as a lifeline to make yourself a better life. Because he believes in you, because he knows that you can pull yourself out of this. And you need to believe that for yourself too.
Absolutely. 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 You know, why didn't he give it to you when you were on drugs? Why did he give it to you now? Right? He believes in you now. He trusts you. And
thank God I didn't give you $50,000 when you were addicted on drugs. You probably wouldn't be writing this letter.
No, you'd probably be dead. Honestly, you'd probably be dead. Honestly, I think you need to take some inspiration from your dad, though. He believes in you. He trusts you. It's time for you to start doing the same about yourself. You need to believe in yourself. You trust yourself. Clearly, you're listening to the pod. Clearly, you're reaching out for help, right? That's two huge steps. Huge. Not to be understated. Like,
yeah,
the trajectory is going up.
How many people just listen and never take any action? You're actually taking action. You have separated yourself from the 99% of people just by taking action and asking the question.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've taken more action.
Yeah.
With the money already.
Yep. Not to mention you got the guts to write in and be honest. Brutally honest. Maybe too honest. Maybe too honest. Because you're not seeing the full picture, right? We're seeing a third person perspective, right? We're seeing wins, right? We're seeing losses, but we're also seeing wins, right? And the trajectory is it's getting better. It's getting better. I mean, once you've hit a low point, as you know, with drugs, and now you're out of the drug realm, right? You got some money saved up, right? You got next year's rent, put aside. He's coming back. Back.
And I wonder if a lot of this also has to do with like the envy jealousy bias, right? Like he's comparing himself to other people. Like he's comparing himself to maybe his sister who's whatever, like 32 or whatever, and doing fine, or his friends or whatnot. But again, don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to being a better you. All right, I still get back to the letter and see where we're going with this, what he's going to actually ask us.
Here's where I stand. I'm terrified of making the wrong move with this money. My track record isn't great, and I've always managed to mess things up financially. I don't want to waste this opportunity. I want to make the most out of it and make a sound money decision that could change my life. This truly feels like my last chance to set things right and build a future I can be proud of. So I'm reaching out for advice on what I should do with the remaining $35,000 to ensure that I make the most of this opportunity. How can I leverage this money to create a stable financial foundation? I'm open to any guidance and suggestions you guys might have. Thank you for taking the time to read this and for any advice you can offer. I'm committed to making this work, and I am truly appreciative of your help. With new hope in sight, I strive to make things right, because it's my last chance. I need to advance. How about that? I think I'm going to speak on this first, and then I want you to chime in. I think most of his problem isn't finances. It's mental. It's how he sees himself, right? We've talked about so much on this podcast today. How you speak is how you live, right? How you live is how you are. I'm worried about how he sees himself in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
He's only seeing the bad things, the negative things, and he's zooming in on it. Like it's not like, yeah, I used to be a drug person, right? Drug addict, whatever. Like, no, he's magnifying that, but he's not focusing on the fact that he's like, he should be super proud that he's recovered. I can't imagine much more. That's very, very difficult. He's focusing on the wrong things. I don't know. What do you think, Chris? What do you think?
No, I mean, I totally agree. Like this, a lot of it comes down to mindset. I mean, don't get me wrong. There is a big money issue here, and the money issue has to do with him making $10,000 a year. Like it doesn't matter. That's going to always be an issue. If you're making that small amount of money, it's going to always be tough. But I think the reason that he said he only works odd jobs and stuff is because he thinks himself a loser. He probably doesn't think he can hold a stable job. He doesn't think he can do that because every time that he's tried, maybe he was addicted to drugs and he failed. And yeah, I know that's hard to fail, but you have to keep on trying. And now that you're clean, it sounds like it might be time for you to try to find a stable job. The odd job thing, I don't know what you're doing, door dashing or whatnot, or who knows what it is, but $10,000 a year is going to be really, really tough to make anything work.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're living on your own, which it sounds like you are because you have rent.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I would say the first thing we need to do is stop calling yourself a loser.
Yeah.
You need to tell yourself every day that you're a winner. And we need to really shift the mindset. And I hate that advice because I know that when someone is down deep in despair and you just tell them, oh man, it's all just a mindset issue, it doesn't land. But I hope that you can hear us a little bit. Please listen to the last pod and this pod and understand what we're trying to say here, that you're the one holding yourself back. You have a set of ideas in your mind, and those ideas are not serving you. Those ideas are creating your habits, and those habits are creating a reality that I can't hold a job. I can't make more than $10,000. Shoot for the freaking moon. And at least if you miss, you'll be among the stars. Start saying, like, how can I make $1 million this year? Even if you don't make $1 million, can you make $50,000? $60,000? Even if you miss your big, hairy, audacious goal, at least we're striving for something more. But if you keep on telling yourself, I'm not worthy of having any more than this, then you're going to create that reality and you're never going to look for things to disprove that.
Yeah.
So first things first, we need to make more money. We need to find a better job. Make your father proud. It sounds like you've already prepaid rent for the year. In general, if it was another person writing in, should I prepay rent for a year? I would say no. But for you, I think that was a really good decision on your part. I think that was an amazing decision. So you can make good money moves because now for the next year, you know that your housing is taken care of. In general, would I make that recommendation to somebody else? Probably not. But for you, you have the wherewithal and the self-knowledge to know that if I don't put this money on rent, I don't know what I might do with it. So I'm going to put it towards the things that I know are. So now that your rent is paid, this is the big thing. Don't blow the cash that you have on stupid shit and discretionary purchases in the meantime. Focus on the necessities to survive. What I would use that $35,000 for, I wouldn't invest it. I wouldn't do anything with it. I would go out and try to find a better job. And if I need to have that money to help to feed me, to help to keep the power on, to help get me from point A to point B, put gas in my car, take the bus, whatever it is, I would use that money to go out and find a better job and focus on that. But if you keep on calling yourself a loser, if you keep on saying, I always make bad financial mistakes, then you're going to take that $35,000 and you are going to make bad financial mistakes. There's an old Ray Dalio quote that I've always liked. If you're worried about it, you don't have to worry. But if you're not worried about it, you do have to worry. You're worried about what you're going to do with that money. You're so concerned that you're going to screw up this $35,000. That's what shows me and makes me believe that you're not going to screw it up because you're going to look for ways to protect it. Maybe in the past you've gotten money and you didn't care. You weren't worried about how the money was going to go. And then you went ahead and you blew it. And you wrote that story into its reality. But now you know that there is an issue and you're going to try to fix it. And you're going to take the necessary steps to not make it a reality. So that $35,000, that is your lifeline. Don't spend it on anything that you don't need. Go out and find a better job. Make your life better. Maybe if we're going to take that $35,000 and invest it in yourself. Go to school. Go to some trade school. Use that money to put it into a thing that can be real and made tangible today. I would not tell you to buy like some masterclass on how to become a YouTube personality or how to drop ship or how to do anything like that. Become a plumber, an electrician, something like that we can have tangible results immediately the day it comes out. I think YouTube, all these other things are great, but right now that's not where you are. We need tangible results, not
100%.
Hopes and dreams.
Yep. Spot on. I think it's spot on. The crazy part about it that I don't think he realizes is that while there are difficult times ahead, they can't be more difficult than the past. I really wouldn't.
I couldn't imagine what it was like for him to be addicted to drugs.
I couldn't either. You get yourself a good job, any job above 10,000, right? Taking care of yourself, educating yourself and continuing on this path of improvement. I can't imagine a path where it's more difficult than the drug addiction, right? And I would use the drug addiction. I would use it, right? I would say, like, any challenge that pops up, peanuts. It's peanuts in comparison. The path ahead is a lot brighter than the path that we left. It was a dark path, but you're on a better path now. And just by you writing in shows that there's a lot of promise in your future. And if you don't believe us, maybe you're like, these guys are full of it, right? Maybe we're wrong. Maybe your dad believed in you enough to give you a very large $50,000, right? You just got to believe in yourself.
Yeah. And ask yourself, does this belief serve me? Does the belief that I am a loser serve me? Even if it's true, even if you are a loser, you're not. But even if you are, the same question still comes, and now what?
Mm-hmm.
And now what do I do with that information? Is it more empowering to believe that I'm a winner or that I'm a loser? I would say that being a winner is the way to go, because that's what's going to get you out of this hole. You have got this. We are, like, you're an amazing human. I am so proud of you for being years sober. I don't know how many years sober you are, but congratulations for that. You have money. You have time. This is not your last chance. You got this, man. Just stick to the path. Remember, you get 1% better every single day. Due to the power of compounding, after 72 days, you are a 100% better person. It's the aggregation of marginal gains. Every day we get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And that's what makes you a superhero. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and be the person that you want to be. But maybe in 10 years, you can wake up and be that person.
Yep.
We underestimate what we can do in 10 years, but we overestimate what we can do in a year. Make that timeline a little bit longer. Work a little bit harder every single day, and you'll get where you want to go. I guarantee it.
With that being said, best of luck. You got this. And we hope to maybe hear from you again.
This video podcast is sponsored by Monzon Wealth. The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We do not endorse specific products or services. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests, not the podcast sponsor.
It is crucial to consult with a qualified financial advisor or professional who can provide advice tailored to your specific needs before making any financial decisions, investments, or taking any other actions. If you are seeking specified help, you can reach out to Chris at monzonwealth.com.